What day are we? It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am a little bit of a hot mess today. Slept in, forgot to take the sign down and make a new one, but that's okay. We'll have a Christmas sign, a keto Christmas sign for next week. So today, we are going to start getting right into the Christmas season with keto. Now, I want to show you guys something. Now, if you are looking for me at markets in Central Alberta, I'm going to have a new little friend with me, several of them actually. Just let me get back to where we are here. Oh my goodness. You know, most days I know how to use a computer. Some days, not so much. Okay, look at my little dude here. Now this is TSL Organics new hot cocoa mix. It is sweetened, it has homemade chocolates in it, and it is a little Christmas gnome. So how adorable is that? So hopefully you guys will all come and find me. I'm in Wetaskiwin this afternoon from 2:30 to 5:30. So you don't want to miss that. If you're in Central Alberta, it is worth the drive. It's an amazing market. I'm really very grateful to be there. Now, what we are doing today is we are making shortbread cookies. These are a must in my house. You know, there are a lot of things that I can do without at Christmas time. Fruitcake being one of them, unless it was my grandma's fruitcake, but that's a whole nother story and a whole nother live. So we'll maybe keep that in mind for another day. But shortbread cookies have always been my favorite. Melt in your mouth favorite. And today we are going to keto those cookies. So let's take a look at what we've got. This is 240 grams of almond flour that we are going to set aside for a minute. And I did not get out the bowl that I needed. Okay, we are going to do it this way. Now we're going to make some noise today. I wasn't thinking about this very clearly when I put the almond flour in that bowl. This is 56 grams of, I'm just going to move this over here where we're kind of standing in the same spot. Okay, 56 grams of softened butter. Do not melt this butter. This is really, really important. You don't want the butter melted. Now, if it's a little bit hard, and this is, you can put it in the microwave for maybe 5 seconds. So let's do that. I should have done that before we got together. Okay. And here we go. Just that fast. And 5 seconds, depending on the strength of your microwave, 5 seconds just makes all the difference. That is so much softer now. It's going to make it much easier to deal with. So 56 grams of butter, 150 grams of granulated erythritol, and then we're going to make some noise, because you guys know I love making noise when we're together. Okay, so we're going to cream the butter and the sugar together. So this is no different than normal baking. You want to, normal baking, I mean non-keto baking. Remember back in the day when what you made was not keto? So you want these creamed together well, and when they are, we're almost there. Softening that butter just makes all the difference. And it's really important that we get this nice and creamy, because you want your batter to be smooth. So we are almost there. Now, if you're watching in this bowl, I don't know whether you can see this or not, but the sugar and the butter are incorporating very well. We're going to speed it up here for just a second. Okay. And that is enough for a moment. Now, to this, we are going to add, just make sure that isn't dropping on the counter. We're going to add 2 eggs. And there we go. You thought I wasn't going to get that open for a second, didn't you? Okay, and here is the other egg.
Your cookie timer is done.
Ah, wow, there. She ratted me out. Now you know I have cookies in the oven already. Let me take a peek at them. Alexa, stop. Alexa, set a 5-minute cookie timer. Okay,
Cookie
now
timer, 5 minutes, starting now.
we are adding 1 teaspoon, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now make
I'm
sure
not
that
quite sure how to help
Alexa,
you with
stop. Make sure that what you're using is a pure vanilla. Don't use vanilla flavoring, or I know it costs a little bit more, but honestly, guys, it is worth the extra cost. It's worth it for your keto journey. It's worth it for the flavor. And it's worth it because processed fake foods are not good for us, and it's not what we want to be eating. So, now look at how creamy that is already. Okay, now that is the last that we need of our mixer. So that's the last of the noise that you're going to hear. Now we're going to add 240 grams of almond flour. Now the almond flour we're not using the mixer for. We are going to fold that in because you don't want to beat this up too much. We'll get these out of our way. We make so many dishes when we're here together, don't we? Hey, Akasha, how are you this morning? Now, the difference between wheat flour or oat flour and almond flour, which is what we're using today, is that wheat flour has gluten in it, but both wheat flour and any type of grain flour has a tremendous number of carbs in it. And if you want to be all achy and cranky, an abundance of carbs in your diet will absolutely do that to you. And you know, it's amazing to me, the more they research this, the more they find that a lot of what we're dealing with every day in our life, a lot of the chronic diseases that we have, like heart disease and high blood pressure and things like Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease wasn't a thing 100 years ago. So, taste test? Okay, fair enough. If we have kids watching, don't eat it with raw egg in it. Unless you grew the eggs. Okay, now, we are going to make 20-gram cookies. And I am just going to get out a small cutting board. And we're going to measure these. Now, 20-gram cookies, we're just going to put that at 0. 20-gram cookies are easy enough to do. Oops. And I am absolutely not doing this the right way. There. We'll put the bowl on the scale so we can tell how much we're taking out. Now, if you zero the scale with the bowl on it, minus the spatula, now you know when you take something out, that's 21 grams. So 19, 21, it's all good. Okay, there's 20. And we're just going to set these balls on the cutting board for now. I will put them on my cookie sheet later. And we are at 40 grams. So we have, look at that, 20 right on the nose twice. Now you're just going to make these, and you can either leave them in balls, which is going to make them a little bit chewier, or you can flatten them out. And either way depends on what you want to do with them, how you want to decorate them. Now that's 66 grams, so we want to put a little bit back. You don't have to be super exact, but within a gram or two is good. It's going to make your bake more even. And especially when you're using something that is a little different than what you're used to, making sure that you keep things really even for the first little while until you get used to using that ingredient. Now you can get all of these rolled out and then you can refrigerate them for a while if you like. They're easy. I mean, look at our time. We're not even at a quarter past the hour, and we have already got our cookies mixed up. And I'm making big ones now. Okay.
Your cookie timer is done.
Cookie timer is done. Okay, we're just going to put this back in
Your
here.
cookie timer is done.
And I am going to check our cookie timer. Okay. These are beautiful.
Your cookie
Alexa,
timer is
stop. Now, these ones I am going to show you guys. I left these ones as balls, and the reason that I did that is because of the way I want to decorate them. Now, the next batch that I do, I am going to flatten down, but these ones I want to be able to sprinkle sugar on them and have them look, I'm going to sprinkle powdered sugar on them, and they're going to look like snowballs. So that's my game plan for these. So we're just going to let these cool for a little bit. And so I need to get something to put them on. This is one of those days where I just kind of have been a hot mess since I woke up this morning. Okay. Oh, that is really warm. So when you get these all done on the pan, you're going to put them in a 350 degree oven. Now, it is absolutely going to depend on how thick they are, and yeah, it depends on several things. So 350 degree oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, what is going on here? I am just trying to make room right where there we go. Okay, now because you can see that there are little bits of the last bunch of cookie left, so that's just a little bit of the sugar and the butter, which can cause a burnt taste if you do it again. So we are just going to put a new piece of parchment paper on our cookie sheet. Now, I like to bend the edges just so that it kind of stays flat while I'm putting the cookies on there. Okay, now we can put these on. Do we want them flat or do we want more snowballs? I think today we are going to flatten them out. Now, get the kids in the kitchen. It is never ever too early for kids to learn how to cook something that is nutritious. And for those of us that still have weight to lose, which I do, I don't eat very many of these. So most of these are going to go into the freezer. I'm just going to turn this around so I can see it a little better. Most of these are going to go into the freezer. And then when I have someone coming over or I have an event that I want to go to, I have stuff right here ready for me to use. Now, I do have to give a shout out to, this is not my recipe. I did not make this. This comes from a website called bigmansworld.com. So thank you to Armand for sharing this recipe with everybody. It is a beautiful recipe and I'm quite enjoying it. This is just one of those things that I can't not have at Christmas time. I don't need lots and lots, but I do need some. So we are just going to keep making these. And these don't spread out very much, so you can kind of bunch them up. Now, how do you like to decorate your sugar cookies or your shortbread cookies? Or do you? Do you just like them plain, or what is it that you like to do with them? I love to know what other people's Christmas traditions are. There are things in our house that are traditional that there is just no room for negotiation on, or there hasn't been. But now, doing keto, we're finding that there are things that we want that we have to have new ways, or we have to find new ways to have them. So don't give up what you like. You find new ways to have the things that you love. You don't just give them up. Okay, 19 grams is close enough. Now I know that there is a young lady, or probably, watching that has the same spatula that I'm using here. I love that little set. Okay. How much do we have here? 27. That's too big. 22 is good enough. Now once we get these on here, we're going to flatten them down. And this is going to make them easier to store. They are not going to break as easily, and you're going to be able to stack more in the container if you do it this way. Okay. Now, I've told you guys before, but I'm going to say it again because I know that there is an issue oftentimes, okay, with Facebook, and I don't know what that is, but for whatever reason, oftentimes on Facebook, my video just freezes. So, if you guys have any suggestions, if you're a video guru and you know what I'm doing or why that's happening, I would love to know. Okay. 26. Did I do that right? No, I certainly didn't do that right. Okay, here we are. I thought that looked a little bit small. Remembering to zero your scale is so important. And look at how many we're getting on here. And when we squash them, which we will in just a minute. Okay, 19. We're going to have lots of cookies on here. When we squash them, they will get a little bit. Yep, another one that's 19. Look at us go. Okay, I want to tell you guys about something else that is absolutely delicious, and that is zucchini noodles. And no, I'm not talking about a processed food that's dried and powdered, and I'm talking about zucchini. Zucchini is cheap, it's easy to find, and it is absolutely delicious. One of the things that I hear often is I can't do keto because I can't give up bread or pasta. Okay, well, first of all, we've made bread on here a few times, and so you know that you can have normal bread, or you can have, there we go, you can have like a yeast bread, or you can have a 90-second keto bread. One way or the other, you're going to enjoy it, and you're not going to be missing the bread at all. Now, another thing that you can do is replace your pasta with zucchini noodles. Now, if you've done this, whether you're watching the replay or you're watching live with me, let me know. Have you ever used zucchini as noodles? It isn't just, and there we go. Now, I think that is about as full as it's going to get. What do you guys think? Okay, time to clean off the hands. Zucchini noodles are so easy to make. A little spiralizer, $4 at Walmart. Easy peasy. Okay, now I do not want, I do not want the same marks in this that you find in, peanut butter cookies. So we could squash them down with a fork, but we're not going to. This is just a jar with a lid on it. We're going to put a little bit of coconut oil on there. Now, this is an unscented coconut oil, so it's not going to alter the flavor at all. And we're just going to push them down. Oops. Now, the other ones are going to be snowballs. These ones are going to be, they're going to look kind of like sugar cookies. but they are not sugar cookies. So let's put a little bit more coconut oil on there. On the lid, not so much on the hands. Oh, come on. Now you could always put another piece of parchment paper on top of this so that it doesn't stick quite as this is. Just started out great, not working out so great now. Just don't push so hard, and make sure that you keep your cookie even, because if you don't, it won't bake even. So you want to make sure that you keep that even. And you're going to see the granular sugar in here, but that isn't a problem because once it's cooked, you're not going to see that. Okay, there we are. And we just stole a piece of that cookie. We'll put that back. Now, into the oven for 15 minutes. Alexa, set a 15-minute cookie timer.
Cookie timer, 15 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so those are going to be done and ready to decorate. So, good morning, Del. When
This might answer your question.
Alexa, stop. She keeps butting into our conversation. Have you noticed that? Okay, when this is done, you're going to have cookies that we are not going to decorate like snowballs because they're going to be flat. But how do you like your cookies decorated? So that is an individual preference. Now I'm going to just set this back here. Oh my, oh my. One of these days, I am going to be 100% organized when I do this, but I'm not expecting it to be anytime soon. Now, if you are dusting these, you want them to cool first. And then, just a wee little bit of powdered erythritol. Now, this is where it's important that it is powdered, because you just want a little bit of a dusting on top that's going to make these look a little bit like snowballs. Now, all of the adorable little candy snowflakes and stuff that you can buy in the stores, please stay away from those. I know they make your baking look really cute, but they also put a lot of sugar and a lot of extra carbs. Now, these little cookies have got 1 gram of net carbs in each of them. So, there you go. So that wee little bit of powdered erythritol, we didn't even use it all. And this is a dozen cookies, and there's still some left on the platter. Now, the big question is, though, how do they taste? Well, with a little bit of snow on top of our snowball. Now, one of the things that I love about erythritol on the top of this, erythritol has a little bit of a cooling effect in your mouth. Well, the shortbread cookies that are traditional in my family had cornstarch in them. And it really made a beautiful cookie that would just melt in your mouth. This doesn't have quite the same mouthfeel, but it is melting beautifully in my mouth, and that little bit of powdered erythritol kind of makes it feel like that traditional shortbread cookie. So, I highly encourage you to try this. And again, thank you to Big Man's World for sharing this shortbread recipe with us. Now, you are not going to want to miss this Friday. This Friday? Okay, you know what? I said it, now I'm going to change my mind. I may not be here on Friday. I do have a market on Friday. I'm going to try and join you from the market. Hopefully it's far too busy, because that's going to mean it's an awesome market. So check out the farmers market in Lacombe on Friday at the Memorial Center. I will be there from 9:30 till 1, and then I will be home. But I will be here on Sunday with another Christmas recipe. Send me your favorites for Christmas. What is it that you can't do without at Christmas time? Let's figure that out, and maybe we can keto it together. So for now, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have fun making the sugar cookies by yourself. I've had a lot of fun making them with you. And I am going to go and try and make myself a little more presentable because I have a market today as well. And I need to make some more packages of hot cocoa to take with me. So from now until Sunday, or maybe Friday, but Sunday for sure, I hope you do your very best to live your best version of this shining life. That's what I'm going to try and do. So stay warm, stay keto, and call someone that you love and tell them that you love them. They need to